Dear listeners, my name is Anthony Clark.
And I'm Melanie Clark.
And we are The Amazing Clarks. We're both award-winning certified life and love coaches and a husband and wife duo that have been coaching together as a team for 24 years and that have been passionately in love for 32. They call us The Amazing Clarks because we empower people to live amazing lives.
And we're here to help you get from where you are to where you want to be in life and love. Love the Amazing Clarks is our personal love letter to all of you that love love.
That's right. So let's get this party started. Today we have another amazing episode for you guys. Today our main topic is... Come on, Melanie. Come on, Melanie. Come on, Melanie. Come on, Melanie.
Why do I have to be under pressure?
Because you're good. You're good under pressure.
Thank you. So today our main topic is using sex to avoid emotional connection.
Who does that?
A lot of people.
That's right. Using sex to avoid emotional connection. You know what? This one's going to be really good because this is going to be great for you singles, but it's also going to be great for couples.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of juicy areas we're going to go with this one. I can tell already.
I'm excited. I'm excited because you're excited.
And this is a good thing when we're both excited.
Yes, it is.
That's right. That's right. But before we jump into the main topic, it's time for Ask the Clarks.
Yes.
Now, in this segment, this is where you guys get to send in your questions that you have about love, relationships, dating, and we'll answer them live on our podcast. So don't feel shy, send them in.
Yes.
So today's Ask the Clarks question is, Melanie.
Yes. So today's question is, I am falling out of love and I don't want to be. Why do I feel like this?
I'm falling out of love and I don't want to be. Why do you feel like that?
Yeah.
You know what? Since I'm a gentleman, ladies first, I'm going to let you get the first crack at this.
Okay. Yeah. You just want to piggyback off of what I'm going to say. I already know you.
What?
I know how you roll. You know, as soon as I read this question, what hit me was, we're coaches and we really help people manage their thoughts because your thoughts create your emotions and your energy.
Right.
So what I have found in my life experience and in coaching, when people start falling out of love, it is because they have stinking thinking.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yep. Something happened that made you focus on what you don't like, or you came up with some belief or perspective about your partner. And your ego, you could see, listen to our last episode about your ego. Your ego started telling you negative things about your partner, which over time will build, I call it building a case, right? You build a case against this person, and then you wake up one day and you're like, I don't even like you. Why are you here? Why did I ever like you? Why was I in love with you? So when you start to feel like you're falling out of love, you have to consciously focus on the things that you love about your partner. You have to remind yourself why you fell in love in the first place, and then make that stinking thinking happy thinking about your partner. And as you do that, you'll realize, I do really care about this person. Maybe there's something that's bothering me. And generally, the things that bother us are so small. It's maybe 5% of the relationship, but if you focus on it, it expands and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until your feelings change. So what saith you, my love?
For one, I say it's a great answer. You're dead on as usual.
Thank you.
And I'll let you go first, even though you're a hard act to follow. But that's all right. I'll take the challenge. I agree with you 110%. So first of all, let's start off with why you fell in love.
Yeah.
Let's get to the core of it. Where you really fell in love, it wasn't the flowers. It wasn't the sweet talk. It was literally a chemical reaction going on in your body. It's called limerence. And when you're in limerence in the beginning, when you're dating, you automatically focus on the things you appreciate about your partner. And it makes you feel good. Your body releases a chemical of dopamine, oxytocin, vasopressin, a bunch of these chemicals that literally get you high.
Yeah.
And that highness is that feeling of passionate love, being in love. And so within the first 1 to 3 years of most relationships, that limerence starts to fade away. And then the rose-colored glasses come off and you start finding the things and seeing the things that you don't like about your partner. They were there before, but you just ignored it. So now you're focusing on what you don't like. And the more you do that, the more you get addicted to that and the worse it makes you feel.
Yeah.
The less connected it makes you feel to your partner. The more you feel like you're growing apart and you lose that feeling. So now, how do you get that feeling back? Just like Melanie said, you have to consciously make it a point and want to fixate and focus on the things you love and appreciate about your partner. Even if they're irritating the crap out of you, there's still things there that you love and appreciate. You just have to redirect your focus. And the more you do that, the better you'll feel, because appreciation is love in its smallest and most concentrated form. The more you appreciate something, the more you'll like it. If you keep appreciating it, you'll love it. And if you continue to appreciate it, you will fall in love with it. So that's the key to staying in love as well as falling in love. So get back to focusing on what you like. Stop talking about what you don't like. Stop pointing it out, and you'll fall back in love in no time.
Yes. And I just want to add one more thing before we move on. Avoid having conversations with your friends and everyone you know about the things that you don't like, because the more you do that, the more you're creating it, and your friends and your family love you, and they're going to tend to agree with you. And when you get that confirmation, that, what do they call it? Social proof that you're right, it makes you double down. So don't go talking to everybody about it, because they're just going to convince you that you should fall out of love, and talk to people about the things that you love about your life, yourself, and your partner.
That's right. So just like you wrote in saying how you're falling out of love, now you need to start writing in talking about how you're falling back in love.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All mind over matter.
Yes.
That's right. So great answer. So if you listeners have any, like I said earlier, if you have any questions, send them to us. Ask the Clarks, and we will knock it out on air for you. All right. So now that we got that out the way, let's jump into the main topic.
Can I just say this really quick before we jump into the main topic?
You can say really slow. You can say really quick. You can do it any way you want, baby.
I just love your voice.
Oh.
Like when you were just talking, I was just like, I just love your voice. You have such an amazing voice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Actually, I feel the same way about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, your voice just thrills me. It's amazing.
Your voice just soothes me.
I love that.
It's like I'm the savage beast, and your voice just soothes me. And my savage beast obviously
excites me.
That's right.
We go together, baby. We go together. We go together.
That's right. You know what? I
love it.
I think that's a perfect example of focusing on what you appreciate about your partner.
Yeah, I notice what I appreciate because I focus on it. So there's an example for you to do it. That's how you do it. That's
right. We can do it. You can do it too.
Yes, exactly. So Anthony, I'm excited to hear what you have to say on today's topic. Okay. So using sex to avoid, what is it? It's avoiding intimacy?
To avoiding intimacy and connection.
To avoiding intimacy and a connection. So what do you have to say about that?
You know, I think that this is more common in dating.
Okay.
And so it happens in relationships, committed relationships and marriages as well. But I want to take the route of daters.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people in today's society that are dating, they're experiencing that, where everybody wants the sex. But then when it comes to getting past the sex and moving into higher levels of commitment and satisfaction and connection, things go south.
Right.
And there are a lot of frustrated people out there that are dating, that are running into this issue.
Yeah.
And my name is Anthony, and I've been there.
Yeah.
I was one of those people. So you guys aren't alone. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. And so I'll say for me, for example, when I was dating, and I frustrated a lot of women, because once we would get sexually committed, sexually connected, then they wanted more. And they would not get more from me.
and you are stubborn when you don't want something.
And it would drive them crazy.
Yeah.
And they would call me stubborn. They would call me scared. They would call me a lot of other things.
I bet.
But yet they kept calling me.
Yeah.
And they kept calling me because they were frustrated and they wanted that connection with me. But I would not give them more than that.
Yeah.
And so was I broken? What was wrong with me? Sometimes I would even ghost them.
Yeah.
And
Anthony.
Yeah.
That's awful.
That's right.
You're a bad boy.
That's right. And that was very, very frustrating. And I get it.
Yeah.
But it was why I was doing it. And, it took me a while to really understand what I was doing. But I realized that because my first marriage was so traumatic, a marriage that ended with a divorce and losing the twins that ended up being me not being a biological father, and the athletic career that I gave up, it was devastating, especially at a young age.
Right.
And so at that point, I was afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I was afraid of connection because connection equaled bad things because of my past experience, my trauma.
Yeah.
And so I still wanted a way to connect, but not with my heart.
Yeah.
And so it was
You were
easier.
protecting your heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So what I did was I used sex to get that connection and to get women's approval, to get their praise, to make them like me, to make them feel me, to make them want me.
Right.
And it was great for me.
Yeah.
But not so much for them once they wanted more.
Yeah.
And so I also realized that the sex was a way for me to connect with them without me having to go into vulnerable areas where I could be hurt.
Yeah.
To not be disappointed. And they could see the best of me. What I consider wasn't the best of me, but I could show them just the good stuff. Yeah. And I don't have to deal with the headaches. I don't have to deal with me not, stepping up to the way they wanted me to step up in a relationship. I didn't have to deal with their disappointment and me not being something that they wanted me to be. It was just, I'm going to give you the sex and you love the sex. You're impressed with the sex.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. Dismount.
Yeah.
Back away. No connection. And so you're the first, until you came along, that made me start to go, I actually might want connection with her. I'm actually enjoying the connection with her. I'm definitely loving the sex with her. That was amazing. But
telling
then after a while,
telling our business again.
I definitely want the sex because that was amazing. So I told it again for you.
Thanks, babe.
But then after a while, the sex did not cut it for me by itself. It was just like the sex was the dessert, and now I needed some nutrients.
Yeah.
And the nutrients came from the vulnerability and connection.
Yeah.
But I had to feel safe, and I had to build my way up to that.
What did I do different than other women that made you feel like, okay, I'm willing to have a connection with her and not just sex?
I think first and foremost, it was that you accepted me for who I was. You didn't come into it going like, oh, you need to fix this, so I don't like this, I don't like that. You came in just appreciating who I was. In the beginning, I made it a point to tell you who I was. And to let you know, like, hey, I am not trying to lock it down. I like sex and I'm dating other people and there's no commitment and you can do the same thing and I'm not going to trip on you. Don't trip on me. If it don't work for you, just bounce. I get it. But if it works for you, you're cool, then we could build from here. Right. And you came in and you accepted me there. And once I saw that it was consistent, it wasn't just a rouge, then, did I say that right?
Ruse. Yeah.
Ruse.
Good job. Good job. You got it. You got it, baby.
I do that a lot. I use words and I'm like, is that correct? But it is what it is. Yeah. Moving forward.
Okay.
So it was real because I was watching you in the beginning. I was like, she just saying this just to get in there. Let me see.
She's trying to win me over, and then she's going to switch it up later.
Yeah, so I'm going to hold out on the deep vulnerability, the old yummy good stuff. I'm going to hold out on that and test her and see how long before she flips on me and starts telling me, oh, you need to change this, you need to change that. But, you stayed consistent. You didn't do it. And so naturally that trust was built. And I slowly but surely let down my fortress.
Okay.
And the more I let it down, the better it felt.
Yeah.
And when I let it down, you didn't come and stab me. You just kept, still loving on me. And I kept dropping it, letting it lower and lower.
Right.
Until I was able to get that connection.
Yeah.
And I was able to get the connection and the great sex. Okay. So I had it all. Win-win.
I want it all. Yeah. You should have it all. Everybody should have it all. Like, why can't you have great sex and connection?
Yeah. And I noticed that that's what's going on with a lot of our clients that we're dating. That we're coaching that are single and that are dating. Yeah. That they're experiencing that frustration in their dating relationships. They're even doing, a lot of the women are doing it too. And that's to protect their heart.
Yeah.
But that's a slippery slope because that heart could become frozen and it'd be hard to thaw out.
Yeah.
But it works both ways. What about you? Have you ever been there at any point?
Have I just used, when I first got divorced, I did use sex to avoid connection because I did not want a committed relationship again. I was like, woo, I just got out of that. I'm not trying to do that again. So I was just like, I called it sampling, right? Like I was just enjoying sampling new flavors because I had been in a committed relationship for, I think, 11, 12 years. Right. And I was really enjoying my freedom. So I really didn't want, to get in another relationship. And I know, and I knew even back then in my 20s, that vulnerability creates that connection. It's going to make you fall in love. So I was like, I'm not trying to fall in love. So that's why when you were like, yeah, I could date other people. And I was like, cool. I like you. I'm attracted to you. I enjoy you, but I'm not trying to get in a committed relationship. So I actually liked where you were coming from. We were a good match. And just over time, it happened naturally. But you know, what you were saying about like our clients and single people, I actually was thinking about this morning. Like I think about you single people a lot, like how I can help you, how I can guide you, because I really want you to have the love and connection that we have. Like it's amazing. I love it so much and I want that for everyone. So I was thinking about it this morning and I was thinking about it from the perspective of what makes people sabotage themselves, because we see a lot of that. And one of the ways that people sabotage themselves is using sex and to avoid connection. So I was thinking about that this morning. And what I realized is it's fear-based. Yeah, so we as spiritual beings, we need connection. Like it is it is really, truly a need. So instead of opening our hearts and opening our minds. This is going to sound real bad. I can already hear where I'm going with this. We're opening our legs.
Damn.
I had to. It just was flowing. I was like, wait. Is that what I'm about to say? Yes. Sorry, guys. But that's how it came to me. So that's how I'm going to give it to you.
Little Friday's gift there. Damn.
Sorry.
Nah, you know what? I love that about you.
But it's true.
No, yeah, I love that about you.
What? That I say crazy shit?
Well, just that as much as a lady that you are still able to, expand the brand and, make me want to reach for my pearls.
Honestly, the thoughts drop in and I just let it flow. So I caught it before it came out, but I was like, I'm still going to let it go.
I saw it coming. I was encouraging in my mind. I was like, come on, come with it. Come on, bring it out.
Say it.
That's right. Good job.
So anyway, let me get back to the point. So it just feels easier to do it that way because the fear is I'm going to get hurt. I'm going to get judged. I may expose a part of myself that makes this person run. Right. So I know how to be physical and I know that's going to feel good to me and it's going to feel good to the other person. So I think sometimes people think that if they get the sex right, then it'll create the space to be emotionally vulnerable. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say doing it backwards because y'all do what works for you. Like we're just having a discussion about it. But what I've found is if you do it the other way, where you become vulnerable and you have deeper discussions and you share, the things in your life that you just don't share with everyone. If you share them with your special person, they get to see a part of you that's very, very private and personal. And that's an honor. Like I feel honored to see the parts of you that you share with me that you don't share with other people when you're vulnerable, right? So when you have that creates a whole energy in your body that makes you feel connected to each other. And then when you have that, and then you have the sexual connection, that's where to me, it's amazing. And both of you feel it, and there's nothing like it. It just creates this desire to want to have more and more and more of that with each other. But I think the fears that I just explained keep people from doing that. And so they just start to go like, I'm just using you for sex, or that's all I want with you. And I'm not doing more because that fear. And then there's so many fears behind that. These are the other fears I was thinking about that people do. I'm afraid to get in a situation and make a bad decision. I'm afraid to choose the wrong partner.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to get taken advantage of financially. So much financial talk in dating. So that's a big fear for people. Like, I don't want to get with someone who takes advantage of me and doesn't have as much as I have and is going to take my stuff, which newsflash, people, when you marry someone, their stuff is your stuff, and that's part of marriage, right? Like, you will go through hard financial times individually and together. That's just part of life. There's certain things that we can't control, and I think these fears make people try to control those things, like not making a mistake, not having a bad financial situation. I hear a lot of fear of being controlled. Like, I can't be myself. I have to be what you want me to be, which that's another thing in marriage. Like, you don't get to say who your partner gets to be. You have to accept all of them. And I think the fear of having to accept what they think they're not gonna like makes them avoid that connection. So sex just seems like the next logical thing. We'll just have sex. I can interact with someone. It'll take away some of my loneliness. It'll give me something to do.
Right.
I'll feel good after I get my cookies, and I'll just keep it moving till I feel I need to do that again. But you're leaving so much love and growth and connection and friendship and life on the table by doing it that way.
You know, I agree with you.
You always agree with me. No, I'm lying, you guys. I'm lying, you guys. He does not. No, you don't. No, you're not agreeing with me right now. You do not always agree with me. Most of the time, you agree with me.
I was going to say that I actually don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's like, for example, there's a lot of people that if they have sex just one time, boom, they're connected.
Yeah, that's true.
Then if it doesn't work out because the other person's just like, nah, I just wanted sex. Yeah. That person's, I can't, they're stuck. They can't get over that person. And everybody they have sex with, boom, they immediately get connected. That could work against you.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that when it comes to building connection, it's good to have connection, but you don't necessarily have to have it with everybody that you date or try to look for it and find it. It kind of will find you on your own. Yeah. You have to force it. And I got a lot of great things out of holding back my connection for a while, you know.
Do tell. What'd you get?
For one, I had the opportunity to explore my sexuality and my sexual power and understand it without judgment, without having to worry about offending someone else. Because it was like, I'm single, I'm free, I could do it my way. And I wanted to have as many experiences as possible because I felt like I was catching up.
Yeah.
And I was really irritated in my first marriage that I kind of got into that marriage so young and I didn't have a lot of experience. I had a lot of experience, but not at the level that I wanted to have them.
Right.
And then I felt like once I did what society expected me to do, to settle down, I was like, okay, you're never going to have those experiences.
Right.
So then once I got divorced and was single again, it was like, you know what? I don't care what society thinks. I don't care what other people think. I'm going to be honest about what I am and what I want. I'm not going to feel shame. I'm not going to feel guilt. If people want to run with me, cool. If they don't, they want to run away from me, cool. You got that option too. Yeah. But I am going to explore. And I was Dora the Explorer, and I loved it.
You were sampling just like me.
And I grew.
Yeah.
And I really did love the fact that the woman looked at me like, wow, you're amazing.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, good. Let's leave it at that. Now, if I go further into a relationship, then all of a sudden now, I may not be so amazing to you. So
there's room for disappointment.
Amazing or, not amazing? I'm going to choose amazing.
Yeah.
And so I think that I needed that for healing. I needed that to understand who I was. I needed that to step into my true power.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that it's always a bad thing. There's a season for it.
Yeah.
And I think that the trick is you can't get stuck on that because if you're really wanting love, when that person comes along and you have to be able to be vulnerable and be connected. You don't want to blow your opportunity.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to get stuck on that path. So
no, I agree.
Yeah.
You know, another perspective on this topic is this also happens in marriages.
Oh, good. That's good turn.
You know, it happens in marriages, and I know especially a lot of, you know, women of a certain generation are just having sex and avoiding connection because they believe that's what they're supposed to do. And especially after they have children, they don't really always have the energy to have connection, and they don't make it a conscious decision. So it's kind of like, well, I'll just have sex with you when you want to have sex with me, and then you'll be happy and you'll leave me the hell alone so that I can do the laundry and get to work and clean up after the kids. You know, a lot of times they feel like I don't have time for the connection. The connection becomes work for them.
Yeah.
Like I have to, that's going to make me work, and I don't want to work. And so it's just have the sex. Oh, you're feeling unheard, unseen. Okay, let's have sex. So that we could feel better. And I think a lot of married men are doing that too. Like, you don't have time or energy for me, so we'll just have sex, and that will keep us connected. We're in a season where we have small children or whatever the case may be. So we're just using sex to do that. And I think in a marriage, that can be a slippery slope. Like, yeah, you want to stay connected with the sex, but your connection and your openness, your vulnerability, your time spent together is super important to sustain you through those years of feeling disconnected because you're raising a family, you're building a career, you're doing all of those things. So you have to actually, once again, consciously make time to do that. You know, you and I have been doing this thing where we're doing connecting questions, right? Like we're asking each other questions that help us stay connected. Like, what do you need? And I think a lot of times in relationships and in marriages, people avoid those questions because they take the responses as like, you're saying I'm not doing it, or you're saying I'm not good enough,
Right.
or you're saying that you're not happy. And people generally don't like to hear that their partner has a need or they're not happy.
Right.
But we have to remember that we're always changing. We're energy, and energy's constant is change. So we have to always communicate what changes are happening and what we may need. One year, we may not need something. And then the next year, we feel like we need more time, right? So the first year, maybe we don't need it so much. Second year, we do. Well, people will take that as they'll get offended. Like, you're changing and you're not happy. Well, if I want you to be happy, I need to ask you where you at, what's working for you, what works for me, and be able to have those conversations to stay connected. Sex is a great way to stay connected, but it's so much yummier when you are talking and sharing and being vulnerable with each other.
This is true. You know, I also noticed through our coaching and life experience that a lot of women, when they're married in relationships, they avoid connection by using sex. It's like sex is the reward.
Yeah.
If you do what I tell you to do, if you act the way I tell you to act, then Father's Day is coming around and I'm going to give you sex or special sex. And the man is sex starved.
Birthday sex.
So he's like, okay, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I don't want to do it. I don't feel connected to you, but I'm doing these things you asking of me because I want the reward.
Yeah.
But what the woman's doing is that she's not using connection in order to get him, inspire him to do those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want to, he doesn't listen to me. He's not going to pay attention to me anyway. And I just, you know what? I'm just going to use sex and I'll use that as opposed to going the other route, which might be a little more challenging to go, you know what? Let's have deep conversations. Let me tell you what I'm experiencing. What are you experiencing? Where are you at? That's a deeper level thing that a lot of women, they don't have the time, or maybe they don't care. They don't want to do it. It's irritating to them. And I know a lot of women in my life right now, not you, Melanie Clark.
Oh, thanks for clearing that up.
I watch their relationships and they do that. And it's like, I'm going to be cold to you. I'm going to be cold to you. I'm going to be cold to you. But I'm going to use sex to kind of
warm you up.
Yeah, warm you up to balance that so you so you'll do what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that.
Well,
works both ways.
I want to add to that. A lot of men are uncomfortable having deeper conversations and being vulnerable. So a lot of women just avoid it. So I think men could work on being more vulnerable. And it's hard. A lot of times it's hard for men because all the programming is don't have emotions and don't talk about those things and be a tough guy and be a provider and be a hard guy. And so I know it's not easy for men to open up in that way. So as women, you know, after a while, we get tired of trying to get men to open up. So again, then it's like, well, our connection is sex. We don't have anything to talk about. Bills, kids, you know, laundry, where we're going to go during the summer. So you have to dig a little bit deeper to get that connection, and sex is a good start. Like there's nothing wrong with it. I think the outcome of this conversation for me that I would like people to take away is you could have both. And you really need to ask yourself, like, why am I choosing sex over connection if you're doing that? And make a plan to have it all. Like, how can I go deeper with people and have it all? And there's a lot of variations on this. So
Right. You know what? I think for me, it was, if my penis likes you, then eventually my heart could grow to like you. And it starts with that. So,
you slay me.
Yes.
So,
but I tell you how beautiful you're looking.
Oh no, please do.
Yeah, you're looking gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much.
At you on camera, I'm like, damn, my wife is hot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Compliments work.
Yeah.
That works. I appreciate it.
Facts work too.
Oh, thank you so much. I love you. Well,
that's a game by Anthony Clark, guys. Check it out. Okay.
You're always very sweet to me. I will say that you always say nice things to me. You always see the good in me. And I just want to add to that. That kind of goes along with something you said earlier. When I asked you what I did different to make you want to have connection with me instead of just sex, you said because I accepted you. And I accepted you how you are. And one of the reasons that I could accept you so fully is you have always been, you're very, okay, let me preface it with this. You're very straightforward, brutally honest. So I know that you're speaking your truth when you're talking to me, but you've also always been very kind and complimentary. Like, you have always made me feel like I'm special. And you've done that with your words and with your actions, which makes it easy for me to accept you where you're at. And I was able to do that in dating. No one is perfect. You had some stuff you could have worked on, that you have worked on. I had some stuff that I could have worked on, that I have worked on, and I continue to work on. But I accept you and the things you need to work on, and you accept me and the things that I need to work on. And I think it is because we both showed up being vulnerable. You're very open with me about what you had gone through in your past relationships and how you were struggling with trusting and how you were struggling with opening your heart. I knew that's where you were coming from. And I think a big problem today in dating, and I even see it in marriages, is we're not sharing and explaining why we're doing the things we're doing and where we're coming from. And something that's just really sad to me is when people do, a lot of times your partner will say those are just excuses. Take accountability. But our hearts go through what our hearts go through. And I think we're all doing the best that we can to heal ourselves and to get better and better and better. So if someone shares their heart with you and why they're doing something, I want to encourage you all not to look at it like you're just making excuses. Really take it in and care about what they're going through. I care about what you're going through, Anthony. I remember when I met you and you shared your story with me, it touched my heart. I was like, oh man, I got to be gentle with this guy's heart because he has been hurt before and I don't want to hurt him further. So I think bringing a little bit more caring in, that's one of the things that has been really solid in our friendship, in our relationship. I care about what you go through. Even if I don't understand it, I care. I care enough to show you love and compassion.
Love it. love it.
And I love you. So that's all I have to say about that.
So basically what you're saying is,
yeah,
you got a friend in me.
Yes.
You got a friend in me.
Yes.
And you have
And
one
you're a
enemy
fun
too.
friend too.
That's right.
You're a fun friend. I enjoy you.
That's right. Well, I feel the same way about you, Melanie Clark. That was a beautiful way to close this amazing episode. Another great episode.
Yes.
Wow.
So I just want to thank all of you for hanging out with us. We love and appreciate you.
Yes, love every single one of you listeners.
Yes, we do. So make sure you're connecting with us over Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at The Amazing Clarks.
That's right. If you guys want to get a copy, don't forget of How to Stop Being an Irritating Person, 20 Irritating Traits That Pushes People Away and How to Fix Them, then you can download your copy at theamazingclarks.com. If you guys are interested in becoming a life coach or just want to learn some skills to life coach yourself or the other people around you, then check out our life coach training and certification course at Law of Attraction LifeCoachAcademy.com. And if you haven't got a chance to get a copy of our book, Crack the Code, Secrets to Achieving Your Happily Ever After, make sure you pick up your copy today. Yes. Available at Amazon.com. This is a bestseller. This is for singles as well as couples. And last but not least, if you want to coach with Anthony and Melanie Clark, you can coach with us via Zoom or by phone, no matter where you live around the globe. And you may even be able to coach with us in the LA area or in the North Carolina, Charlotte area if play your cards right. But to learn more, go to theamazingclarks.com. Reach out to us and we got you.
Yes. And remember, to go there, you got to grow there.
There you go, people. We gave it to you. Now what you going to do with it?
Love the Amazing Clarks.
See you next time.
See you next time.